Hello and welcome to the topic Things to Know About CATIA V5. Here we are going to explore the amazing things about CATIA V5. So let us start the journey. Let us understand the session outline, which will give you an idea regarding what is going to happen in this session. Topic number 1 is Introduction to CAD/CAM Guru. Topic number 2, Introduction to CATIA. Topic number 3, Understanding the software capabilities by software categories. We are going to discuss the two categories of software under this topic. Category number 1 is parametric nature of the software. Category number 2 is end of the software. Topic number 4 is CATIA workbenches or modules. Topic number 5, companies using CATIA V5. And topic number 6 is CATIA is known for. Here we are going to discuss the capabilities of CATIA V5 software. Now moving further for the next slide, here we are going to discuss the topic number 1, that is Introduction to CAD/CAM Guru. So here the image shows the role of CAD/CAM Guru. That is nothing but the CAD/CAM Guru is shown as a bridge between the college pass out student and industry. Yes, by providing a strong placement support. So we are the bridge between fresh mechanical engineers and the industry. And we have successfully completed 22 years in CAD and CAE training. This is a short introduction of CAD/CAM Guru. Now moving further for the next slide. Now we will start with Introduction to CATIA. First we will discuss the history about CATIA V5. Now first I will tell you about the developer of CATIA V5 software. So CATIA is developed by Dassault Systems, France. So Dassault Systems is a sub-company of Dassault Aviation, which manufactures the passenger aeroplanes as well as the military aeroplanes. Now we will understand the meaning of CATIA word. Yes, CATIA is an abbreviation and it is having a long form. So C stands for computer, A stands for added, T stands for three-dimensional, I stands for interactive, and A stands for application. So CATIA is nothing but computer aided three-dimensional interactive application. Initial release of CATIA V5 was released in 1977, nearly 43 years ago. So this is something about history of CATIA V5 software. Now we will move further for next slide. Now history continues. So here we will discuss two important events. The first event was in 1984, the Boeing company chose CATIA V2 as its main 3D CAD tool, becoming its largest customer. And the second important event was in 1990, General Dynamics Electric Boat Corporation chose CATIA as its main CAD 3D tool to design the US Navy's Virginia class submarine. So here you can understand what is the capability of software. Now we will move further for next slide. Now we will discuss software capabilities. Understanding the software capabilities by software categories. So we are going to discuss a first category, and this first category is nothing but parametric nature of the software. And this category has its sub three categories. The first category is non-parametric, second is partially parametric, third one is fully parametric. Now we will see which software is going to fall in which category. Here is the big cross, because in automotive and in mechanical industry we don't use the non-parametric softwares. We need partially or fully parametric softwares. Now we will see which software falls under partially parametric category. First is AutoCAD and second one is a ZWCAD. So these both are 2D softwares and falls under partially parametric category. Now we will see which software falls under fully parametric category. The software like CATIA, NXCAD and Creo falls under fully parametric category. So understand what is meant by partially and fully parametric. I am not going too deep technically, but I will tell you in simple words. If user having a partial control on the parameters, so that is called as a partially parametric nature, and if the user is having a full control, means user can update or modify any parameter anytime, so that nature is called as a fully parametric nature. So I hope you understand this first category. Now we will move further for next slide to understand the second category. Here I will discuss the second category of software, that is end of the software. Once again, this category also has three subcategories. The first is low-ended, second is medium-ended, and third one is high-ended. Now we will see which software is going to fall in which category. Let us start. So AutoCAD and ZWCAD once again falls under a low-ended category. SolidWorks, Solid Edge and Inventor falls under medium-ended category, and CATIA, NXCAD and Creo falls under a high-ended category. So I can say CATIA is a fully parametric high-ended software. So this is the definition of CATIA. Now I will take one simple example and I will try to explain what this end of software is. See, we can divide any technology in this three category. Any technology like mobile phone, like cars and any other technology can be divided into this three category. So I took the example of mobile phone. So here you can see the buttoned mobile phone is falls under low-ended technology. The screen touch Symbian phone developed by Nokia falls under medium-ended technology. The smartphone which we are using, that falls under high-ended technology. Why I am keeping these phones in this category, you are easily understand. Because that button phone is having a limited option or limited control or limited capabilities compared to medium-ended. So medium-ended technology is a start of the high-ended or the smartphone technology, but that is not a complete smartphone because that also having some cons. Now today what we are using, that a Samsung phone or the Google Android phone or Apple phones, that are considered as a smartphone and that are having a tremendous capabilities advantages compared to this low end and medium end technology. Similarly, the softwares are also having that kind of capability differences. So I hope you understood this second category which shows the capabilities of software. Now we will move further for the next slide. Now I will show you which companies are using a CATIA V5 as CAD development software. So first category is automotive companies using CATIA. So Tata Motors, you are all are knowing it. Tesla, then Jaguar Land Rover, Bentley Motors, Porsche, BMW, and there are many companies, automotive companies, they are using CATIA as its main tool. Now shipbuilding companies using CATIA V5. General Dynamics Electric Boat, United States Navy, Benetti. So these famous and giant companies are using a CATIA as their CAD development tool. Now we will move further for the next slide. I'm continuing to show you the aerospace companies using CATIA V5. The Boeing, the very giant aerospace company which develops the aeroplanes, the passenger aeroplanes. I hope you all are knowing. Then BAE Systems, that is also called as BAE System, Embraer, FNSS. So these are aerospace companies using CATIA V5. Now we will move further for next slide. Now we will see industrial equipment companies using CATIA V5. This is the next category. Mesto, Alstom, ABB, Michelin. Now we will see energy and process and utilities. This is the next category of companies. Suzlon is the first company and Siemens Gamesa. So this is the second company. So these companies are using CATIA V5 and the list is too big, but I shown you some important, giant and famous companies. Now we will move further for the next slide. Let us discuss CATIA workbenches or modules. First of all, understand what is meant by workbench or modules. These are the space where you can create your desired 3D shapes or 3D components. So let us start the discussion. Total workbenches available in CATIA. Yes, we have 92 workbenches in CATIA. So number is big, but that is there. The total workbenches available in CATIA is 92. But we use 5 workbenches under the mechanical CAD engineering, and that are: the first workbench is part design workbench, and that is used to create a 3D model or 3D component from casting, forging and machining manufacturing processes. Second workbench is surface design, that is also called as GSD, and GSD stands for generative shape design, and it is used for to create a complex surface and sheet metal components or the complex plastic or sheet metal component. Third workbench is sheet metal design workbench, and it is used to create sheet metal components which are created using cutting and non-cutting operations. Next module is assembly design module, and it is used to create a simple and large assemblies. And the last module is drafting, which is very important because it is used to create 2D sheets for production. Means whatever you can create using part, surface and sheet metal design, if you want to produce it, you need to publish a drafting of it. So using these 5 workbenches, you can create your desired component. I hope you understood it. Now we will move further for the next slide. Now we will discuss that 5 workbenches in detail one by one. I'm going to discuss first part design workbench. So here you can see some images. The first image shows the component is nothing but a machined component. Second image shows the component which is nothing but a cast component, and third image shows the component which is nothing but a forged component. So now see this, all three are the CAD components, but why I am discussing here like machined or cast or forged? Because the strategies, tricks and the approaches are dependent on the manufacturing process. So all three manufacturing process has its own design consideration, and considering them we can create a 3D model which is exactly matched to the manufacturing process. So see, the machine part is created using the feature based modeling approach. Cast part is created using a body based or multi-body concept. which is further uses Boolean operations to create a cast part. In cast part, we use Boolean operation to subtract a core body from the pattern body, and we can achieve the final casting component. And the forging is an extension of feature-based modeling, but here we apply the design consideration of forging like draft, which is the important design consideration, and we create the forged component. So here we learn how to create a 3D model, not a tool centric. We create a 3D model which is a domain centric. So I hope you understood why the part design is used for. Now we will move further for the next slide. Now we will discuss a second workbench, that is Surface Design Workbench, or that is also called a GSD, nothing but Generative Shape Design. Once again we have some images here. The first image shows the sheet metal part, second also a sheet metal part, and third one is a plastic part. So we created these 3D components using surface design technique because you can see the shapes are very complex and which is hard to create using part design workbench. It is not impossible, but it is hard to create using part design workbench. So this kind of shapes we can achieve using surface design or generative shape design. CATIA is known for the GSD, and GSD is a very powerful workbench where we can create very complex shapes from automotive industry, aerospace industry or any other industry. So CATIA is very popular for the generative shape design because this is having very high-ended use that we are going to discuss in upcoming slides. Now I will discuss the next workbench is a sheet metal design workbench. Once again we have some images. The first image shows the sheet metal part and second image is also showing the sheet metal part. But what is difference between the sheet metal part which we seen in a previous slide and this slide is, so these are the simple sheet metal components which are created using the cutting and non-cutting operations like punching, notching, piercing, blanking, and non-cutting operations like bending and the stamping. So if you have these usual operations, you can use a sheet metal design part. If you have the complex shapes or complex contours, then you have to shift to the GSD as we discussed. So here we discussed the sheet metal design. Now we will move further for the next slide. Now I will discuss the next workbench is nothing but assembly design workbench. So this is nothing but a valve assembly where you can see there are multiple parts, but it shows the exploded view to understand or to show how the parts are involved to create this assembly. So the assemblies like this or any other assembly you can handle easily in assembly design workbench using two approaches, that is nothing but the first approach is bottom up assembly approach and second approach is top down assembly approach. So like this you can develop your assemblies or handle your assemblies using assembly design workbench. Now we will move further for the next slide. Now I will discuss the next and last workbench from mechanical CAD engineering is drafting workbench, and it is very important workbench. So we have once again the images which is showing the detailed drafting of one part and one assembly. So this is called as a part drafting and this is called as assembly drafting. So here we can create the drafting like this or any other industrial drafting using the drafting tools. So generally drafting is nothing but a 2D sheet which is having a information by using which we can create or we can produce that part in actual world. Now we will move further for next slide. Now I am going to discuss CATIA is known for what. For that I have one table. In first cell, the techniques from CATIA V5 are listed. In second cell, the modules are listed. And in third cell, the end use of that technique. So let us start. So the first technique is called as feature-based modeling technique. This is a part of part design and it is used to model machined component and forged components. So we can create a simple plastic parts using it. Also that is called as a solid shell method. But here I listed only a machined and forged parts. The second technique is body-based modeling. This is also part of part design and it is used to create a cast and plastic components because there is a multi-body concept. If you take an example of cast part, we have pattern bodies and core bodies. So we use Boolean operation to handle that situation. So that is called as a body-based modeling. Next technique is remastering. Remastering is nothing but a reverse engineering. This is a part of part design and the surface design because we can create a solid remastering using a part design and surface remastering using a surface design module. And it is used to convert dead or dumb part into parametric part. So the dead part is provided to us and taking a reference of dead part, we can create or we can model the replica of that dead part using CATIA V5. That technique is called as a remastering and it is very popular in industry nowadays. Second important, very important technique is A to B conversion, or this is also called as a closed volume creation. So this is majorly used in plastic industry and module used is surface design and it is used to create plastic components. So like this, these are the strengths of CATIA V5 software and it is popular and known for. Now we will move further for the next slide. Now I would like to show you the CCG student work. Here we provide some project work to the students to give them an experience or industry like experience. So let us explore the student work. So first, feature based modeling project. So this project is based on feature based modeling using part design and the component is forged component. So here you can see the tree as well as the forged component. Now we will move further for the next slide to see the next project. This project is based on body based modeling technique using part design and it is a cast part. Now here you can see in tree we have bodies. Here this green color outer part is called as a pattern body and that internal red color part which is removed, that is called as a core body. So using the Boolean technique we achieved the cast part. Similarly we have a plastic part which is also can be created using this body based modeling by subtracting a core part from the pattern part. So like this we can achieve the cast and plastic part using body based modeling technique. Now we will move further for the next slide to see the next student work. Now I would like to show you the next student work which is developed or created using remastering or reverse engineering technique using part design workbench and it is solid remastered. So this image shows the exact project and this brown color part is nothing but a dead part and this bluish color part is a parametric part which is developed using that provided dead part. So that technique is called as remastering or reverse engineering. Now we will move further for the next slide where we'll see the next student work. Next is A to B conversion or closed volume project. This is developed using surface design. Here you can see the given A surface. Then student created a B surface. So this is step 1 and this is step 2. And here you can see the sea surface is created, and that all three surfaces are joined to create one closed volume. And using that closed volume, finally we can fill the volume in that closed volume, and we will get the final part. So like this A to B conversion or closed volume method works, and this is majorly used in a plastic industry to develop the complex plastic part. So this example is nothing but a flush knob. Yes, in toilet we have a flush bucket. So this flush knob is used to release the water, and this kind of project we can handle using A to B conversion technique. Now we will move further for the next slide. I hope you liked and enjoyed the entire session. If you have any query, you can contact us by scanning this QR code, or if you are interested in our courses, scan this QR code and enroll for the courses. Thank you.